welcome back to Prime Wealth. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Absolutely, it's great to be here.
You know, a lot of people think about earning extra money, but have you ever considered that your camera could be a source of income?
Right? Stock photography is a fascinating avenue. It's amazing how many people are making money just by capturing the world around them.
Exactly. And today we're diving into how you can turn your passion for photography into a potential income stream.
We'll cover everything from the basics of stock photography to how to get started, and even some tips on what types of images sell best.
Plus, we'll talk about some platforms where you can upload your work and actually start earning.
And we'll also touch on some common pitfalls to avoid so you're set up for success right from the start.
Sounds like a lot to unpack, but it's going to be really valuable.
Definitely. And whether you're an amateur or a seasoned pro, there's something for everyone.
All right, let's jump right in and explore the world of stock photography. You know, Alex, when we talk about stock photography, it might seem like a niche topic at first, but it's really relevant for a lot of people, especially those of us over 40.
Absolutely, Jordan. Many folks at this stage of life are thinking about diversifying their income streams, especially as retirement approaches. The traditional sources of income, like pensions, aren't as reliable as they used to be.
Right, and with inflation constantly on the rise, it can feel like our savings just aren't stretching as far as they used to. I mean, have you seen the prices lately?
It's crazy. And then there's the emotional side of it, too. People might feel anxious about their financial security as they approach retirement. The thought of living on a fixed income can be quite daunting.
Exactly. You know, I was talking to a friend recently. She's in her early 50s and is thinking about how to supplement her income. She used to be a graphic designer and has a decent collection of photos. When I mentioned stock photography, her eyes lit up.
That's a great example. Many people don't realize that their hobbies or past professions can turn into income-generating opportunities. It's not just about taking beautiful photos. It's about leveraging those skills and experiences.
For sure. And it's not just about padding the retirement fund. It can also be a way to keep the mind engaged and creative. After years in the workforce, people might miss that sense of purpose and creativity.
You're spot on. Engaging in something like stock photography can provide that creative outlet while also earning money. Plus, it can create a sense of achievement, which is really valuable for emotional well-being.
Speaking of which, I read that the stock photography market has been growing steadily. In fact, it's projected to reach billions in revenue over the next few years.
Yes, and that's where the opportunity lies. The demand for quality images is increasing, especially with the rise of digital marketing. Businesses are always looking for fresh content, and that's where individual photographers can step in.
And it's not just the big brands. Think about small businesses, bloggers, and social media influencers. They often need images to enhance their online presence, but might not have the budget to hire a professional photographer.
Exactly. This creates a space for amateur photographers to enter the market. They can sell their photos on platforms like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock and earn passive income.
Which is especially important as people look at their retirement timelines. It's not just about saving. It's about creating multiple streams of income to help combat those rising costs.
Right. And let's not forget the potential for stock photography to generate income while still allowing flexibility. Many people over 40 are looking for part-time work or side gigs that fit their lifestyle.
That flexibility is key. You might have family commitments or other responsibilities that make a traditional job challenging. But with stock photography, you can work on your own terms.
Exactly. You can shoot when it works for you, edit your photos at your convenience, and upload them to stock sites anytime. It's a perfect fit for someone who wants to balance work and personal life.
And think about the technological advancements. Smartphones today have incredible cameras. So even if you're not a professional photographer, you can still take high-quality images that could sell.
That's a game changer. Many successful stock photographers started out just capturing moments in their everyday lives. It's about seeing the world from a different perspective and sharing that with others.
I love that. It's like finding beauty in the mundane. Plus, there's a sense of community in stock photography. There are online forums, groups, and workshops where you can connect with others.
Community support can make a huge difference, especially when you're starting something new. It's encouraging to share experiences and learn from each other's successes and challenges.
And for those who might feel intimidated by technology or the market, there are tons of resources, tutorials, and courses available now. It's easier than ever to get started.
So true. And it's worth mentioning that the initial investment is relatively low. Most people already have a smartphone or a camera, and many editing tools have free or affordable options.
Right. It's quite accessible. I remember hearing about a woman in her late 40s who picked up photography as a hobby during the pandemic. She started by photographing her garden and local parks.
That's a beautiful way to start. And I bet she found joy in capturing those moments.
Absolutely. Eventually, she began selling her images online and even started a small blog about her photography journey. It not only supplemented her income, but also reignited her passion.
That's a perfect example of how stock photography can be both fulfilling and financially beneficial. It's about more than just the money. It's about rediscovering your interests and hobbies.
And, when people find that passion, it often leads to better financial outcomes. When you genuinely enjoy what you're doing, you're more likely to put in the time and effort to succeed.
That's a crucial point. The emotional aspect of money can't be overlooked. When you're engaged in something you love, it can relieve some of that financial stress.
So, for those listening who might be thinking, this sounds great, but where do I start?
Well, that's the exciting part. There are some straightforward strategies to get started in stock photography, and we can dive into those next.
So let's dive into the core strategies and rules of thumb for making money with stock photography. What should someone first consider when getting started?
Well, the first thing is to understand your niche. Photography is such a broad field. It helps to focus on specific subjects or themes that resonate with certain demographics or industries. For instance, if you love nature, maybe specialize in landscape photography. Or if you're into business, focus on corporate environments.
Right. Finding your niche is key. How do you suggest photographers identify what niche might be the best fit for them?
A good starting point is to look at what you enjoy shooting the most. Think about your hobbies, interests, or even what you find yourself capturing on your phone. You could also explore what's trending in stock photography. Websites like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock can show you what types of images are in demand.
That's a smart way to approach it. So after identifying the niche, what's next?
The next step is to invest in good equipment. You don't necessarily need the most expensive gear, but a decent camera and lens can make a significant difference in image quality. Even a good smartphone camera can work if you know how to leverage it, but investing in a DSLR or mirrorless camera will give you more control over your shots.
And then there's the whole editing process. How important is that?
Editing is crucial. A well-edited photo can stand out in a crowded market. Learn software like Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop. They offer powerful tools to enhance your images. Even basic adjustments, like exposure, contrast, and color correction, can elevate your photos significantly.
So let's say someone has their niche and their equipment sorted. What's the next step in the process of selling their stock photos?
Once you have a collection of high-quality images, it's time to create an account on stock photography platforms. Some popular ones are Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, and iStock. Each platform has its submission guidelines, and it's important to follow them closely. They often require model releases if you have identifiable people in your images.
That makes sense. And how does someone know which platform is the best fit for their work?
It can be beneficial to upload to multiple platforms. Each site has its audience and can appeal to different buyers. However, research the commission rates and submission requirements. For instance, some platforms are more selective, which can mean higher payouts for accepted images, while others accept more but might pay less.
Interesting. Now, when it comes to pricing, how does one determine how much to charge for their photos?
Pricing in stock photography isn't straightforward. Most platforms have set pricing structures, but generally, your earnings will depend on the license type. For example, from my experience, images sold under a standard license earn less than those sold under an extended license. So the more exclusive the usage rights, the higher the price you can set.
That's a good point. And what about the importance of keywords and descriptions?
That's huge. When you upload your images, including relevant keywords and a strong description is vital for discoverability. Think about what potential buyers might search for. Use specific keywords that accurately describe your image, as this can significantly increase your chances of being found in searches.
Right, and it's about making it easy for buyers to find what they're looking for. Are there any other practical tips for uploading and managing a portfolio?
Yes, consistency is key. Aim to upload new content regularly. This keeps your portfolio fresh and increases your visibility on the platforms. Also, monitor the performance of your photos. Most platforms provide analytics tools that show which images are selling best, allowing you to adjust your strategy accordingly.
That's a great strategy. Now, how do you suggest someone market their stock photos outside the platforms?
Social media is a fantastic tool for marketing. Sharing your images on platforms like Instagram, Pinterest, or even Facebook can drive traffic back to your portfolio. You can engage with communities that fit your niche, which can help build your brand. Collaborating with other photographers or influencers can also expand your reach.
And what about the legal side? It must be important to understand copyright issues, right?
Absolutely. You need to ensure you have the rights to sell any images you upload. This means using your own photos or those you have permission to use. It's also essential to understand the licensing agreements on the platforms you choose. If you sell a photo, you're granting rights to the buyer, and it's crucial to know what rights you're giving away.
And what are some common pitfalls to avoid when getting into stock photography?
One common pitfall is underestimating the competition. Stock photography is saturated, so it's crucial to offer something unique or high quality. Another mistake is not paying attention to trends. If you're not aware of what's currently popular, you might miss opportunities. Lastly, neglecting to promote your work is a big one. Relying solely on the platform's traffic isn't enough.
Those are all valuable insights. It sounds like a lot of effort, but with the right strategies, it can pay off.
Exactly. With dedication and strategic thinking, stock photography can become a significant income stream.
And it's all about staying informed and adaptable.
Precisely. So, as we think about moving forward, let's discuss some actionable next steps that listeners can take to get started on their stock photography journey.
You know, Alex, while stock photography can be a fantastic way to earn some extra income, there are definitely common pitfalls people fall into.
Absolutely, Jordan. One of the biggest mistakes I see is not doing enough research before diving in. People often think they can just snap a few photos and start making money right away.
Right, like they assume if they have a decent camera, they're set. But that's just the beginning, isn't it?
Exactly. Understanding what types of images are in demand is crucial. For instance, if someone focuses on niche topics that hardly anyone searches for, they're likely going to be disappointed with their sales.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between what you love to shoot and what's actually marketable. I remember hearing a story about a photographer who specialized in underwater shots. He had amazing talent, but he wasn't selling well because the market for those images was tiny.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. He might have been passionate about it, but if there's limited demand, it's tough to make a living. And then there's the issue of oversaturation. If a particular style or subject is already flooded with content, it's hard to stand out.
So how do you recognize oversaturation? Is it just a matter of browsing through stock sites?
That's a good start. Look for the number of images available on similar topics. If you see thousands of similar photos, it might be time to pivot. Or consider how you can add a unique twist to your shots.
Got it. I guess that's where creativity comes into play, right?
Definitely. And speaking of creativity, another pitfall is not investing time in improving your skills. Just because you have a camera doesn't mean you'll automatically take great photos.
So what's your advice there? Practice, practice, practice.
Exactly. And also, consider taking some courses or joining photography groups. You can learn so much from others and get feedback on your work.
That's true. I remember a friend of mine who started taking online classes, and it really transformed her approach. She was able to refine her technique and even discover new styles.
That's a great anecdote. And it ties into another common mistake: not investing enough time in post-processing. Some people think that their job ends after the shoot, but editing can really enhance the quality of the images.
Right? Like taking a good photo and turning it into a great one with the right edits.
Exactly. If you're not comfortable with editing software, it can be worth learning. Even basic adjustments like cropping, color correction, or sharpening can make a huge difference.
So it's a blend of shooting skills and editing skills. What about pricing? I know a lot of new photographers underprice their work, thinking it'll attract more buyers.
Yes, that's a big one. Underpricing can actually devalue your work in the eyes of buyers. If you set your prices too low, it can signal a lack of quality. You want to ensure your pricing reflects the value of your images.
It sounds like finding that balance is key. Plus, it can be tricky to figure out what to charge, especially when there are so many competitors out there.
Absolutely. Researching what similar photographers charge is a great way to get a sense of the market. And don't forget to factor in your time and expenses when setting those prices.
That makes sense. And I imagine that marketing is another area where people stumble. You can have great photos, but if no one sees them.
Exactly. Many photographers underestimate the importance of marketing their work. Just uploading images to a stock site isn't enough. You need to promote yourself, whether it's through social media, a personal website, or even networking within photography communities.
So, what are some effective ways to market your stock photography?
Well, social media is huge. Platforms like Instagram and Pinterest can help you showcase your work visually. Building a following takes time, but it's worth it. Also, consider collaborating with other creatives or influencers to expand your reach.
Collaboration sounds like a fun idea, but what about the technical aspects of uploading to stock sites? I've heard that some people get their images rejected often.
That's a common frustration. Many stock platforms have strict guidelines. If your images don't meet their quality standards, they'll be rejected. It's essential to read and understand their requirements before submitting.
So that means reviewing things like resolution, composition, and even the metadata, right?
Exactly. And don't skip on the metadata. Properly tagging your images can significantly impact their visibility. If you don't use relevant keywords, your amazing photos might just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, that sounds so important. I can see how someone could feel overwhelmed by all these details.
It can be a lot at first, but taking it step by step can help. And remember, every misstep is a learning opportunity.
So true. Real-life examples can really shed light on this. I heard about a photographer who kept submitting the same style of images, thinking it would work eventually, but he kept getting rejected.
Right. Eventually, he realized he needed to diversify his portfolio and adapt to changing trends. Once he did, he saw a noticeable increase in his sales.
That's encouraging. It shows that flexibility is crucial.
Definitely. Being willing to learn and adapt can make a world of difference in this business.
So, with all these pitfalls in mind, what's the best approach for someone looking to start in stock photography?
Well, first, do your research to understand the market. Then invest in your skills, both in photography and in editing.
And don't forget about the importance of marketing and proper submission techniques.
Exactly. And when you encounter those setbacks, remember they're part of the journey.
So, those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together in the next part. So, Alex, we've talked about the potential of stock photography and how it can be a great side hustle, but what about the first steps? What can someone do today to start diving into this world?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing I'd recommend is assess what you already have. Look around your home, your surroundings, and think about what you enjoy photographing. It could be nature, family moments, or even your pet.
Right, and that can make it feel less daunting, like you're not starting from scratch.
Exactly. And then start small. You don't need to invest in expensive gear right away. If you have a smartphone with a decent camera, that's a good place to begin. Just make sure you understand the basics of photography, like lighting, composition, and angles.
Those are key, aren't they? What about editing? Should people dive into that?
Definitely. Editing can really enhance your photos. There are apps like Lightroom or Snapseed that are user-friendly and great for beginners. A little adjustment can make a huge difference in the final product.
I love that! And it doesn't have to be overly complicated. Just learning some basic editing techniques can really elevate your work.
Exactly. Another actionable step is to join online photography communities. Websites like Flickr or Instagram can be great for inspiration, but they also allow you to connect with other photographers. You can get feedback, learn from others, and even discover trends in stock photography.
Networking is so important, especially in creative fields. What about the actual stock photography platforms?
Right. Once you feel comfortable with your skills, you can start exploring stock photography sites. Platforms like Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, and Getty Images are popular. You'll need to set up an account and understand their submission guidelines.
That's crucial. Each platform has its own requirements, right?
Exactly. Some might want higher resolution images, while others have specific content guidelines. Make sure to read those carefully.
And when it comes to shooting for stock, what should people keep in mind?
Good question. Think about what's currently in demand. You can do a bit of research on what types of images are selling well. It could be seasonal themes, lifestyle shots, or even business-related images.
So being aware of trends can really help in deciding what to shoot.
Yes, and don't forget to think about keywords. When you upload your images, you'll need to tag them properly for potential buyers to find them.
That sounds like a bit of a learning curve, but totally manageable.
Absolutely. And here's a tip. Start building a portfolio. Even if it's just a handful of your best shots, having a collection to showcase can make a difference.
That makes sense. A portfolio can really reflect your style and skill level.
Right. And once you start uploading to stock sites, keep track of your submissions and their performance. Some platforms allow you to see which images are getting views or downloads, which can guide your future shoots.
Tracking performance sounds really helpful for growth. Are there any other tools or resources you recommend?
Sure. There are several books and online courses focused on photography and stock photography. Websites like Skillshare or Udemy offer courses tailored to beginners, which can be really beneficial.
So learning doesn't stop once you start shooting.
Exactly. It's a continuous journey. And, try to establish a routine. Maybe set aside a certain time each week to shoot or edit photos. Consistency is key.
That's a great point. Making it a habit can really help you improve over time.
And don't be afraid to experiment. Sometimes the best shots come from trying something new or stepping out of your comfort zone.
That's so true.
And remember to celebrate your small wins. Whether it's getting your first photo accepted on a platform or hitting a certain number of downloads, those little milestones keep you motivated.
Celebrating those wins can really fuel your passion.
Absolutely. And if you're ever feeling stuck or uninspired, take a break. Go out and experience new things. Inspiration often comes from unexpected places.
That's a great reminder. It's important to keep that creative spark alive.
So those are some immediate steps you can take to get started in stock photography. By taking action today, you can gradually build towards that financial freedom we're all striving for.
I love that. It feels achievable when you break it down like this.
Right? And as you move forward with your photography journey, remember that persistence and passion are your best allies.
Now let's bring everything together in the outro.
So as we wrap up our discussion on stock photography, let's highlight a few key takeaways.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, it's clear that finding your niche is essential, right? Whether it's nature, lifestyle, or even food photography, picking something you love can really set you apart.
Exactly. And then there's the importance of quality. High-resolution images can make a huge difference in attracting buyers. So investing in good gear and learning some editing skills is definitely worthwhile.
Definitely. And remember the power of consistency. Regularly uploading new content keeps your portfolio fresh and can help you build a following.
Right, and don't forget about the business side. Understanding licensing and how to market your images can really affect your success.
Speaking of success, it's all about staying motivated and being patient. Building a passive income stream through stock photography takes time, but with dedication, it can really pay off.
Absolutely. And for those of you listening, if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit too, especially if they're over 40 and looking to explore new income avenues.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop us a comment about your experiences with stock photography or any questions you have. We're here to help.
Next time, we'll dive into another exciting topic, automated dropshipping. We'll cover some systems and tools that can streamline your business and make things easier for you.
Sounds great, right? So until next time, keep exploring those financial opportunities.
And remember, your journey to financial security is just beginning.
Take care, everyone.